finding compression wear that works for you is really important. It can be your friend or it can be your foe. It just depends. Sometimes they can be very restrictive, uncomfortable. Sometimes they can collect at the back, cause wear. They can be hot. So there are a lot of things that they can be, but oftentimes women with lipedema will tell me that their legs don't feel as heavy, they have less pain, they sleep better at night when they wear their compression regularly. So if you've not tried compression, maybe you should. You might notice a big difference in how you feel. We are going to try on some micro massage leggings. These are all the ones that I could find on Amazon. So Bioflect is what I usually wear. That's these right here. Solidea, Lipoelastic, and Salus. First up, Bioflect. Now I've worn these Bioflect a few times. When you go to grab a compression wear, you want to use grips here, not like this. If you do this, you're more likely to put a finger through it like I did. So think of pantyhose. How do you put on pantyhose? You struggle, right? And you're very, very gentle with them. As you can see, my K-taping's starting to roll up here. You can see that. All right, so I've got them above the knees. Now the next step is getting them up the rest of the way. Again, like I said, this is a wrestling match. One thing about Bioflect is that it does go quite high to go up underneath your diaphragm. If you're like me, that's not all that comfortable, so a lot of times I will kind of fold it down and double it over. One thing about wearing compression pants is that it puts a lot of pressure on your bladder, and so you may need to go to the bathroom a little bit more frequently, and so planning accordingly. The other thing though that you'll notice is if you wear compression during the day, you often don't get up at night as much because you've not retained as much fluid in your legs that then you have to get rid of while you sleep. So next up, Solidea. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not entirely sure. Here we go. So they're going on pretty easy. Nice little cuff there. Let's try the other leg. Okay, all right, we're gonna stand up and see how this goes. A little bit on each side. It's probably be a little bit easier if I didn't have shorts on, but that's all right. Again, try not to clench with your hands. Okay, they feel pretty good so far. A little bit low in the crotch, but I think that's just because I haven't pulled them up all the way. They are a little bit shorter, but they probably won't have any issues with bunching behind to the knee once I get them all the way up. So not as high of a waist, but they still come up good. So all of these are micro massage compression. What do I mean by that? You can kind of see the ridges in there. And so every time I move, that moves the skin as well, helping with better lymphatic drainage. So these are kind of fun. They're a fun color. I like these. No, not just the boring black. All right, let's try the next pair. Stocking number 3, Lipoelastic leggings. These have a very different feel, more of a slippery feel to them. And they're, as you can see, much longer than the last 2 pairs that I've tried on. So let's see how these go. So that went on really easy. Not as much of a wrestling match. Okay, let's stand up and give it a go. So these aren't as tight on the lower part of my legs as they are towards the top. Oh. I got them on. They feel pretty good. They're nice and slippery, so they'd be easy to layer. They don't have as much compression. I do feel some micro massage type of material in there. You can see that, I hope. So if I wore them for long enough, you'd be able to see a pattern left on my skin. Much tighter up here than they are in the lower part of the leg. So for me, because I have venous disease, I need better support lower in my legs, so I definitely have to wear a compression sock with these, where both the Bioflect and the Solidea, I probably wouldn't. I could probably get away with just a normal sock with those. But these, I definitely need more compression over my calf. These are Salusas. And again, I've probably not pronounced that correctly, but I always refer to them as CZ. These look tiny. We'll see if I can even get them on. Well, it looks like we have a little butt compartment here, so I'd put that in the back, and that looks like it's the front, so that makes it easy to figure out. Okay. They're nice and soft. Not too difficult to get them to the knee. Much easier to get over the rear end than the other ones. Those feel nice. Now, I know each of these brands have different strengths, different sizes, so I think it's important that you measure yourself and get the right size for your body. But out of the 4 that I've tried today, I would say some were definitely easier to get on. Some were more challenging, some are hotter, thicker. Some feel a little bit more restrictive, some go higher. These don't go as high as the Bioflect, which for me, I think I prefer that. I don't like things real tight over my tummy. But 4 different brands. If you're not sure what you would like, buy one. Anytime you try a new product, only buy one. See if you like it before you load up on 2, 3, 5 of them. Remember, you will need to replace your compression even without putting a finger through them, just because over time with laundering, they start to lose some of their elasticity and they're not as compressive. So if you've been wearing the same compression garment for a period of time and you're like, gosh, it doesn't feel as strong, it probably isn't. You probably have lost some of that elasticity. I like everyone to have a minimum of 2 pairs so you can wear one while the other's being laundered. You don't have to wash them after every single wear, but you do need to make sure that you do launder them occasionally.